In April 1982, Argentine forces invaded the Falkland Islands. The islands, known in Argentina as the Malvinas, are a self-governing overseas territory of the UK, but had been the subject of an Argentine claim to sovereignty ever since the British invaded them in 1833. By 1982, the oppressive ruling military junta in Argentina, headed by General Leopoldo Galtieri, was struggling with an extremely poor economic performance and growing civil unrest. In order to divert national attention and play off long-standing feelings of ownership of the islands, Argentina occupied the Falklands. The UK, under the direction of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, retaliated, although war was never formally declared by either side. On the 8th of June, the RFA Sir Galahad was at anchor in the harbour at Port Pleasant, a spot often known as Bluff Cove. 370 metres away was another landing ship, the RFA Sir Tristram. A week earlier, 5,000 further British troops had arrived at the islands, meaning that the new British divisional commander, Major General Jeremy Moore, now had the numbers to orchestrate an offensive against Stanley, the capital and only real town on the Falkland Islands. On the Sir Galahad were the 1st Welsh Guards, who had been sent to support this offensive in advance along the southern approach. However, a series of changed military decisions, confusion over place names, and disagreements over how the ships were to be unloaded led to the two ships occupying the harbour almost fully laden and without escorts or air defence. Argentine Skyhawk fighters attacked the Sir Galahad and Sir Tristram, which both caught fire. They were very badly damaged in the attack, and 48 men were killed, 32 of them Welsh Guards on the Sir Galahad. The Sir Tristram lost 2 crewmen, although the large bomb that smashed through the decks failed to detonate immediately, facilitating the evacuation of the surviving crew. Many soldiers were wounded, over 150 suffering burns and other injuries. The Sir Galahad had already been hit by a 1,000-pound bomb in May, which, fortunately for all on board, didn't detonate, and it had also been strafed in an air attack. But the bombs that hit at Bluff Cove were fatal. After the war, the hulk was towed out to sea and sunk, becoming an official war grave and a protected place under the Protection of Military Remains Act. The Sir Tristram was abandoned, but refloated after the war and towed to Stanley, before returning to the UK in 1984 on a heavy lift ship and being substantially rebuilt. After that, the ship saw active service in the Gulf War and the Balkan conflicts of the 1990s. It also supported British operations in Sierra Leone and was part of the British fleet supporting the invasion of Iraq. The Sir Tristram was finally decommissioned in December 2005, but is still used for training exercises. The Falklands War ended on the 14th of June 1982, with Argentine commander General Menendez signing the surrender. The conflict resulted in 258 British and 649 Argentine deaths, and nearly 10,000 Argentine troops were made prisoners of war. Today, the islands remain under British control, but even now, Argentina continues to stake its claim to sovereignty, as it has done for nearly 200 years. Crop circles are patterns created by flattened crops, such as barley, wheat and corn. Over the years, they have been reported all over the world, but since the late 1970s have been particularly common in England, specifically along a geological tract called the Aquifer Line. This is a line of water-bearing rock that runs between Dorset and Norfolk. Many theories have been aired about their origins. Some think they were created by extraterrestrial forces. Others point to unusual geological conditions or violent weather patterns. However, a study conducted in 2000 concluded that 80% of crop circles were hoaxes, created by humans such as the artist John Lundberg. And what of the farmers whose fields are affected? Lundberg cited the Stonehenge farmer who in 1996 charged tourists to look at a circle in his field, pocketing £30,000 in a month for a crop that was worth about £150.
Three, two, one.